So going to be in that territory, and this could be the war of attrition that Evie is looking for to win.
Blabber expecting a gank onto Licorice as they play it pushed up. He's actually out of corruption charges as well, so that even plays more to Evie saying, hey, we can get this guy in a long run down the lane. This is a great gank. It's cleared on Krugs by Steel. He's about to head over to the lane, and you got to expect they have to think Cloud9 is expecting this as well. Steel plays it safe and says, not this time.
Well, Evie's already done his job, right? As you mentioned, the corrupting pot charge is gone. He's still got one on his side. Wave in a good position. He's not in a situation where he's going to be dove or gank at this stage of the game. So he doesn't have to call Steel up there. Steel can get a good shot off, go back and clear top to bottom one more time. That will allow him to be on the map pretty quickly. And I think this early game has been quite nice for Dead FM already. You know, they're winning the small battles. They're not getting chunked out bottom lane. They're doing a good job top side of the map, and you can see mid lane completely even also.
Staying back, farming. A little bit of passive shield there for Vivid. As Sneaky tries to thread in a few attacks, but yeah, much more of a gentleman's agreement game than we had last game. By now, I think we had 20 kills. No, I'm just kidding, but still, very patient from both teams, knowing the kind of factor that comes out of winning this game. Cloud9 already solidifying that lead, but want to play strong, want to play safe. You never want to let any time on this international stage go to the wayside.
Absolutely, and we already mentioned that this is a Cloud9 roster that does need the experience, so they're going to be taking this game as seriously as possible, I'm sure. At the same time, they do have an explosive comp that can have some fireworks. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them, you know, get towards that level 6, maybe the first shot mark, and then start trying to look for some aggressive plays. And as I said, it just has to be a waiting game for Dead FM. I think they have to be the team that plays this one a little bit slower and picks their marks.
A little aggression onto Seros, no mana there for him. Force the flash, cleanses out, the attacks come through, and it does come through for Blabber on the kill. The persistence pays off as Steel is there. And Jensen plays a little magician to mess with him.
Yeah, and that's a little bit greedy from Seros. He stepped up in a neutral lane. Now the hook is on for Yutapon as well.
Ridiculous. Hook after hook. It's not even something that Sneaky really wanted. It's the harass from Zeyzal. We saw 2 hooks under the turret already. They're going to be privy of the information now to Scuttle, but that's a soul. He's always thinking more stats, more plays, make it work for the bot lane. And we'll see mid lane's gank here one more time.
Yeah, and Seros does see Blabber quite early and doesn't flash, doesn't cleanse. He does both of them underneath his turret once he's taken maximum damage already.
Right.
I think he knew he was going to take the chain, but he thought he could outwalk it. Not going to be the case. And now, potentially going to be some return treatment into the top side.
The disdain from Licorice. Sad but happy to make it out alive. He'll leave lane with teleport back. May not even have to teleport back. He has had an aggressive push going on the whole time, and it doesn't look like he's denied too much. As we get a clear here from Evie, he'll pick up a few more of those CS.
And I'm super surprised from Yutapon. He actually goes back, grabs himself a Sheen. This isn't going to be, you know, a tier into a slow laning phase, try and scale up. He wants to fight some fire with fire.
Yes.
Uses a teleport to get back down there before Vivid is in lane and still willing to just march forward. As I mentioned, this lane is probably 1 kill for Sneaky away from going massively in his favor. Draven, one of those fun, snowbally champions left in League of Legends with the Adoration passive. And Yutapon certainly playing on the edge of it, because if you shut Draven down, if he's not able to cash those in, he is a very, you know, squishy AD carry without gap closer and can be shut out of the game as well. And Dead FM potentially can look to attack that.
So looking at Detonation Focus Me's team, where they're at right now, we're getting Steel hitting 6. What is his spot? Where's the priority he's going to be looking?
Yeah, that's going to be top lane. You know, Evie's ultimate guarantees that Licorice can't run away, and they have so much damage with this Red Smite to be able to chunk out Licorice at the minimum and, you know, pick up that kill and start the split pushing threat that we saw last game. Licorice doing a great job of staying up in creep score, so probably need to help Evie out if this Camille is going to be useful.
Slow farming as well as not trying to push the lane at all. He feels comfortable right now. He uses all knee shots to take down that minion. And a quick hook in from Evie to say, you know what, you're farming way too safe, but a nice disdain back into the turret as Licorice goes back and forth on that fight.
But that's a very well-timed chunk, because they need to get rid of some corrupting pot charges, and you can see already Steel pass towards the top side of the map, now has the red buff available. So with that chunk, Evie has him in, you know, about that 75% health because they're not going to be able to 100 to 0 him. So with that information, Licorice actually swaps over Summoner Spell, trying to be a little bit more durable, trying to get the counter gank happening. You can see even Jensen cheating towards that lane, so they know exactly what's going on here.
Coming up strong. I wonder if Detonation Focus Me noticed the Summoner change as well. It's the small things you think give you the advantage in a fight. And then you end up saying, I didn't see that he did that. They're still holding. I like that Detonation Focus Me's been passive on their attacks as well. They're just as ready for the counter or the engage as Blabber is coming in on these hits. Great mind games going on here from both Cloud9 and Detonation Focus Me to not put themselves into a bad position.
Yeah, and it's the little things. Blabber hovering topside, Jensen hovering topside, guaranteeing that the wave hits the turret, so the bounce is going to be there. That means that Licorice can go back and pick himself up some tier 2 boost, can keep himself safe. Going to be all physical auto attack damage coming into that top lane because Seros, after that first kill, no flash, isn't going to be able to join the fray. And, you know, this is the experience that we talk about all the time out of the veteran door. Jensen's going big.
Cleanse in. That blue buff there is going to be able to allow Seros to spit out some orbs. Does he have the damage though? Another one stacked. Unleash power. Not going to be enough to take down Jensen.
It's the difference between an Ignite lane and a Cleanse lane. One of them picks up the kill, the other keeps him safe, will get the shot, but will not grab the additional gold. But Seros just showing that he can go toe-to-toe in that laning phase. You know, if there was a Nocturne a little bit closer in that back pocket, would have been a different tale. But Jensen lives to tell it. And they still really want this top side of the map, Riv.
Slowly hovering. The last, like, 30 seconds on this ward are going to keep Licorice safe. And now, again, draws pressure to the top side of the map. The rookie of the split for the NALCS has been able to do this all year, absorb the pressure, but also play it smart. Make it look like he's being aggressive in tendencies, but then just say, no, I'm safe, I know you're there.
Potential gank coming down here, that's gonna be the box out.
Gotta get around the minions. Nice flash by Zeyzal to bring in Blabber. The hook to still be there. Yutapon to the right side, gonna force himself into the turret range. Or I'm sorry, in range of what would have been a hook near turret, and they just get the kill onto Vivid.
And big mistake out of Vivid there. Actually doesn't pop the gray health, gets CC'd by Blabber. Very well chained, mean that they pick up the kill, and now this is going to be big damage onto the bottom lane turret. It's the small things, but now a bleed starting to accrue for Cloud9.
One for Blabber as he has stayed active, just shy over the shoulders of Cloud9 to stop them from backing. Sneaky not able to cash in just yet. I think he has 280 stacks currently.
And this is just really well played again. The two-man play gets the box for the slow. And you can see that willing to flash forward, and they're looking for Vivid. That hook went just left, but that's the CC that we're talking about. Obviously missed the count on the tri-strike because he thought he could pop the gray health later than he could, and not able to get away with it. That's a rare mistake out of Vivid. He's performed very well at Worlds so far, but this is a game that he really does need to stand up.
Stopwatch is coming up now for players to be used in the event things go a little awry.
And whilst we talk about, you know, the difficulty if the Cloud9 comp falls behind, you do have to juxtapose it with how easy this game is going to be if they get ahead. You know, they've got one of those comps that does a lot of damage to neutral objectives. They're going to be able to force fights, you know. Blabber, Zeyzal going to just be able to control vision around objectives. And I think that this is a smart move, looking for the rotation. They're actually going behind the turret.
They will not give him a chance to get out of this one. They're nearsighted. Stopwatch goes down immediately, and now he's going to try to disdain to stop some of that damage, get the shield down, but it's not going to be enough. Detonation Focus Me focuses that top lane. And a quick clear to the mid actually allows mid to keep pushing. It'll allow bot lane to keep pushing as well. And they're going to try to trade turrets on either side of the map.
Yeah, I wonder if they continue to push through because they do have the 4. Cloud9 going for it. They don't even go for Rift Herald at this stage, Riv. And they're still pushing out the fact that they might go towards the base. No, that's actually a dead FM ping.
Another wave is there to actually bolster the casters that were already hitting this turret too. Going in favor of Cloud9 as the pressure top was stopped by Detonation Focus Me and doesn't even kind of trail back to a Rift Herald at the time. It will now. All right, I thought he was not doing.
Yeah, but they're not going to be on the map for such a long time. You can see blue buff going to go down. Potentially they can now use some of that gained advantage in speed to go towards the dragon, maybe go towards the mid lane, pressure both objectives. Overall, a massive win for C9. However, in the state of the game, the fact that Dead FM were behind, you do have to applaud the ability to make a proactive play.
Absolutely. The Rift Herald as well can pay off a little bit later. Jensen yanked back in. His over the wall would not have equaled the place that he could go in Hextech Ultimatum. And he does get himself out safely, but he had to understand that situation quick.
Yeah, and potentially could be a Rift Herald drop. It's not going to be the case. You can see they just go into the jungle instead, just going to look to take the turret naturally. That looked like Jensen should have been able to go over the wall. You know, the Hextech Ultimatum looked like it was just inside it.
For the factor of what we saw Realm Warp putting Darius over the wall to blue, yeah, okay, that
generally it gives you a smidgen margin of error with those things, but not going to be the case. Instead, he just has to burn his flash, still gets away safely, nicely played. And this is why they like Evie on this pick. They like his proactiveness around Summoner's Rift. They like his decision-making, whether he sticks in the split pushing, whether he does join the team fight.
Whoa. Sneaky, showing that Draven isn't the greatest turret taker, but especially with minions there. And that's one of the things you were talking about before. If Cloud9's not that far ahead, it's kind of hard for them to take these turrets with how fast Steel can get on them. Evie can get around with the flank here. Draven's not the best turret taker, standing still, not being able to stack an axe.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the big thing, however, is going to be if Cloud9 get control of the game, they're going to be able to just control portions of vision.
Yeah.
And you don't want to have to face check a Thresh and Urgot, you know, even the LeBlanc. And the fact that they're going to do objectives very quickly because they're a 5 damage threat, well, 4 damage threat and a Thresh, just means that you have to be respectful at every stage of, you know, past that 20-25 minute mark. So Dead FM don't need to be able to protect their turret. They need to be able to control vision around Summoner's Rift. A portion of that is being able to push out your lane, but also being able to access neutrals. They're doing a good job of it now. But, you know, we're only 15 minutes into this game, and I think it gets a little bit harder.
Play back. Devour is stand aside just short of keeping Yutapon down. Damage on Cero's top is... This mid lane fight continues wherever it is on the map. Steel gets there for a little bit of help if Jensen goes harder once again. Cloud9's able to fight on a few fronts here, which is pushing Detonation Focus Me back.
It certainly is, and they're just using that pressure to continue to control this mid lane. Chip by chip, it's going down. Sustained battle being won by Sneaky with that Bloodthirster very strong. And in a short lane, you know, LeBlanc as well as Syndra do the same thing. You know, combo mages that are just looking to trade out health, looking to get junglers involved. In the long lane, just because of LeBlanc's mobility, is going to excel. And Seros, without cleanse, really does have to play respectfully. You can see that he's hesitant to even go back towards that top lane turret. Instead, they might be looking to force here.
Heavy flank. Zeyzal got the hook without really seeing that that was happening, but they're able to disengage. Nocturne ultimate. Didn't really allow anybody else in. His Rift Herald is instantly used towards that mid lane. An interesting choice here for Detonation Focus.
Yeah, I think that was the expiry Herald. Had to be dropped somewhere, so may as well drop it mid lane. You can see Jensen looking for some action.
All members for the 5v5 we've been looking for 15 minutes into the game, and it does not look like anyone's leaving too soon. Pressure towards Licorice is the hook from Zeyzal, just short. He does have Hex Flash if he wants to make a tricky play. Seems to be one of his favorite things to run as he continues throwing those hooks out.
And you got to respect Cloud9's patience, you know? They burn the Summoner spell, they get the teleport in, they're willing to back away from the fight. Sneaky, sitting on 160 CS, has yet to die, has yet to have the Adoration stacks reset, would be itching for a kill right now, Riv. However, still willing to just take it slow. They know that they've got the advantage, and the last thing they want to do is give it back. We've seen so many teams, you know, get Baron stolen against them, take 50-50 plays. Cloud9 looking to not do that.
So aggressive with it. I love this from Sneaky. The BF Sword Shield is just giving him so much confidence with Zeyzal there to help him as well. Careful Lantern's down for a moment, but he is still really giving it to Vivid and Yutapon. Interesting to see that with the lanes of how they've broken, not a lot of pressure is with these dual lanes now in mid to get the last turret down.
Yeah, I mean, both teams just going to a pretty standard 1-3-1, and you would think the Nocturne, the Tahm Kench would be able to get some control over that. You know, Dustbringer out mid lane, try and force towards one of the sides, especially given the fact that LeBlanc is in the long lane without a flash. However, just because of how Sneaky is posturing and the safety that Zeyzal's giving him, they feel strangled right now. They feel like they're just bouncing waves. They're already behind, not really making that decisive play that potentially would have seen. And I think that eventually it's going to break because you can see the top lane turret's getting chipped. But one more time, it's going to be Evie, the top laner that heads back up there looking to punish. And he seems to be the catalyst for a lot of the plays that Dead FM are trying to put together at the moment.
Jensen should be able to get a ward over the wall, timed very nicely, and they hit him immediately. The 1, 2, 3, and an assist across the board there as well for those 3 members. The kill to Evie, as that now will relieve the pressure in mid lane. Somewhere Sneaky and Zeyzal have been sitting quite long to give Blabber time in the jungle.
We'll see what they get from it, because right now that's just a kill, not really any pressure anywhere, and they did use a couple of ultimates. However, this is multiple occasions now where Cloud9 has not waited for members to show before approaching rushes, and they're being caught out. And if this just means that, you know, they're able to get another shot onto their mid laner, they're able to relieve some pressure and continue to build up the items, close the gold by 300, and redeploy onto the map. You know, it's just a little thing, but ultimately small advantages that you give back means that the mid game isn't going to be as easy for C9. Once again, they need to be first to these objectives, because without catches, they don't really have a clear way to start them up. With vision control, they have an easy to execute composition, but without it, you know, this game could become difficult, and it's getting just caught in a stalemate.
And it's a game of vision control that has to slightly change. Can you get it deeper to figure out where Steel is? He's going to be Nocturne ulting from everywhere. So those little advantages help having Blabber able to be in the jungle, knowing he's not there.
We've seen so many times where you think you've caught someone, but all of a sudden, Tahm Kench ulti into the backline, Nocturne flies in.
Hello.
You haven't really caught anyone, so completely agree with you. It's going to have to be quite deep vision, which means maybe that they need to speed up. They need to look to force around the mid lane turret. Mountain Drake going to help one more time. Anything that helps this team get very good control over neutral is going to be a big thing. Infernal, I mean, that's even nicer, to be honest, especially when you're playing Draven that's going to be starting to stack up these BF swords. So Cloud9, they still have everything rolling in their favor, but I just feel like DFM are one, catch, one force away from turning this game on its head.
Well, we won't get that next dragon until about 25 minutes, so we have some downtime as Baron may not get hit right away. Distortion over the wall, into Flash, into Distortion. Still in range. Oh, he tries to distort back. That is one of my favorite interactions. Nocturne is never fooled. He is always in your nightmares.
Certainly is, but now Evie kind of returning the favor. Very nice juke out there, and they do get themselves some priority in the top lane. Going to be able to push, make that hit turret, make Cloud9 play to their beat.
Have to worry now that Jensen's not there. Backline feels a bit safer here for Yutapon as he continues to throw out Mystic shots and clear with Evie rather, waiting on the side, looking to get in. He's patient as he can be, but Sneaky is not. Is he forced to flash backwards under the turret for safety?
Evie had the ultimate there, Riv. Didn't want to follow underneath the turret with it, but still gets the summoner spell out. And Sneaky actually let the lantern expire. A small mistake. Maybe Cloud9 starting to sweat a little bit. They lose another turret. Gold lead now in DFM's favor. Once again, they have the force comp. They have the we will jump on you comp. If the map is in their favor, they have the easy comp.
Woo! Teleport to mid lane actually stops that turret from going down as Yutapon's able to get the True Shot Barrage out. And here is this fight one more time.
Just a bit of the do-si-do. Jensen, high mobility, burns the flash, tries to get out. Does get spotted out here, goes back. Just a couple of U-turns. It's actually Seros that picks it up with a ultimate. That's 3 ultimates used. That's a flash out of Jensen. But I think it's the play after that that really hurts. You know, now the Draven is flashless. Now Evie is going to be able to get access to the backline. One more time, he can take Steel with him. You know, a team fight around the corner could potentially hurt Cloud9 here.
Look at some of the core items that everybody has. Manamune Triforce. Not a second item yet for Sneaky, as it's been a lot of focus on this mid lane. Hasn't been able to go back. They have been on this mid turret forever. And a lot of priority from Detonation Focus Me has been stopping it from going down, only giving Blabber so much entrance into the jungle, and as we're saying, denying the vision that needs to be pushed forward from Cloud9.
And this is much nicer out of C9. Get multiple members into the river, stop spell flinging underneath the turret and trying to keep that one down. Just get yourself some pressure, get 3 lanes pushing, and they give respect. You can see right now they're pinging out the fact that Nocturne could be on the bottom side, so Licorice backs away. This is what you want to see. However, still gold going in favor of DFM right now.
Mid turret's a possibility. A good push actually on the top by Jensen, as Seros does not feel he wants to cover this turret just yet, or there's just too much pressure there as they don't have vision.
Because it's a push and pull of the map. Right now, we saw that Evie was able to take down that bottom lane turret because Steel hovers towards him. Seros knows right now that Blabber is doing the exact same thing for Jensen, so you know they have to pull off. However, now with Evie redeployed back on the map because they made their play first, Seros feels confident to look for that play. And you can just see that it's small advantages once again that Dead FM are able to eke. You know, a flash on Jensen, a flash on Sneaky, a kill here, a turret there. But it has meant that they've recaptured this gold lead. A kill to Sneaky right now, by the way, would throw that out the window. He would get so much. But they just haven't been able to find the fight on their terms.
It really would catapult the game. 0-0-1 for both of the bot lane marksmen at just about 230 CS clip. 23 minutes in, so they're doing very well at farming and keeping focused on being a factor of damage for the team. Zeyzal still looking for hooks. This member of the members of Blabber, Sneaky, and Zeyzal always mid lane, and now they're going to put enough damage on this mid lane turret. Detonation Focus Me put so many resources to deny that from going down.
And I love that force because they've been able to make the wave hit the turret, but they haven't been able to take it down. So now, if they are able to maintain the same push in the mid lane, right? If they're able to shove that one to the second tier turret, that's when you can start getting vision around the red buff. That's where you cut off the retreat on that top side map. You can start taking down that turret. They need to regain control of their top lane. Bottom lane looking very juicy right now for a Dead FM member as well. Cloud9 certainly showing that they're not panicking at this stage of the game.
Detonation Focus Me saying, you know, we'd love to play more games, but it's just not on the cards right now. That is the style they are going with. Pretty fearless in their engages, and you would think a team would be kind of giving respect to Cloud9 here in the play-ins. You'd say, well, we saw how it played out last time. They're very resilient no matter what happens, but it has not stopped Detonation Focus Me from still playing their game.
Absolutely, and I think that's crucial. And, you know, we keep going back to it. Whilst there have in the past been the adaptation to the world meta, I think the teams from the play-in regions that have been the most successful are the ones that stick to their A game.
For sure.
And this is what the comp does well out of C9. Not a surprise to see them go towards it. Make Dead FM face check.
25 on the clock, the 50-50 up in the air. Steal, top side of Baron Pit. Blabber just on the left side in of Baron Pit. 3,600 on to the objective, and it's going to be a dispersed fight as nobody wants that.
But a big victory because they get the TP out of Evie, and that is the only teleport available on Summoner's Rift right now. That means if Jensen pushes up, he can take this turret, they can reset. Infernal Drake going to be there as well. Evie felt pressured to continue that teleport, didn't really trust in the fact that his team was going to be able to force him off, and I think that was a call he had to make because they couldn't get around into the choke point because they didn't have vision.
Some of those small advantages you were just talking about, Spawn. It's going to get Cloud9 a bit more comfort in movement, but Detonation Focus, they still want to start the fight. Big damage onto Licorice to start things off, but he may be able to make it to safety as now they're about to lose. Steel in the middle, he comes out of stopwatch, and it was Vivid doing his damnedest to keep Steel alive, but prioritizing the targets is Cloud9's beautiful job in this fight, and they were able to get the targets they needed. Now Seros could be going down as Jensen is in. Seros alive, still throwing orbs back in from the side. Just able, but that's Yutapon going crazy. We talked about this, Ezreal not needing the safety of Vivid, not needing the safety of the rest of the team, and he's able to go off.
And in the end, it's a 3-for-3, and that was probably the best C9 could hope for. Sneaky gets a kill, gets a huge cash injection, but that was such a back and forward team fight.
Vivid tried so hard to save Steel ongoing in. Everybody tried to save Licorice. It was so reactive in this fight.
Yeah, it certainly was. And you can see that this fight started with Zeyzal getting chunked out, and with a very nice stopwatch, but Jensen over the wall, putting in damage. 1,400 gold, I think, is what came of that kill. And this was, I think, a little bit greedy because Jensen burned Summoners one more time to go for it, and a double buff Ezreal with Flash still available, I always say is the highest DPS champion in the game because it's just so hard to get on him. He's so slippery, and if you don't use that initial combo to blow him up, then you know that's something that can play against you, and just so well played from Yutapon. Now he has 3 items. Now he is a huge carry threat in this game.
That spike actually happened very fast. Just it was 22 minutes. Like that fight took about a minute and a half and then replay. So he actually just got his Muramana as well. Now goes back and gets the Blade of the Rune King. So what a huge spike there. I'm sure Detonation Focus Me wants to get right back into the fray.
And we're going to see the juxtaposition of two very contrasting play styles. Sneaky, if he can stand and deliver, is going to pump out so much damage. Infinity Edge, rapid fire cannon picked up. for Cloud9's AD carry. However, if Yutapon gets that slippery fight, if people are flashing over walls, if he's able to split it up, if it becomes more skirmish heavy, is going to just be able to pump out that consistent DPS.
We see Sneaky cash in there as well. Throws a few more swords in the backpack. It looks like he's going to be doing that detrimental damage now. 1 or 2 shots to Yutapon, and that could be it for him. Great defense by Zeyzal and Licorice, keeping 2 on the other side of Baron Pit. The 50-50 is cut almost a little bit more in favor of C9. Steel's gonna get hit quick, but it may not deter him fully. Nice shield onto Zeyzal's hook coming in, and now Licorice and Zeyzal are pretty much in a bad spot. Steel a little too far away from the Baron to do anything, and it's gonna be Seros that's able to steal it from over the wall. I believe a scatter going through. Cloud9 left wondering who to attack, and they only get Steel and Evie.
C9 do the perfect thing. They wait out the ultimate, but in the end, the smite is not there. Seros able to steal it. They do take 2 members. They're gonna look to pick up some advantages across the map.
You gotta be kidding me.
But
what a beautiful play.
Dead FM, one more time, just staying in this game.
When you think you can push a team to their limits, Detonation Focus Me comes up big again. Never shook so far, 7-6. It looks like they even want to fight as they come back up from the batting order here after that Baron. Pushing the mid lane as well, a fight on all fronts just about as Yutapon does what he can against Sneaky in that bot lane 1v1.
And you can see C9 want to make the play with 2 members dead. They're posturing behind turrets. They're trying to push up, but they just don't have an easy way to get onto these carries. So in the end, they grab themselves a turret. They still have an 1,800 gold lead, but now with Baron, a level 16 Seros as well. Clear avenues for Dead FM to be able to win this game. And I mean,
Baron again.
This was really well controlled. They have 2 members over, no one's taking damage off it. They send the LeBlanc to chunk out the spell shield. And they just hold off. They say no one hit the Baron until the ultimate expires. But did the flash come out? Heavy flies into the pit. And it did. That was flashed early from Blabber. So maybe some nerves on the biggest stage. That means that there's a chance still for Dead FM.
Man.
It's kaboom.
That Syndra Q upgrade, dude. Look how happy Detonation Focus Me is. Just kaboom, hands on head for a moment to think. I'm sorry, C9 rather, to think, man, what is happening? Kaboom, so happy. This is going to be crazy for them if Detonation Focus Me can win.
And now the big thing for me is the fact that without Baron, they don't have any ways to force them into face checks, to force them into these fights that they need. And Yutapon's starting to feel it, Ruby. Starting to Arcane shift forward. He's looking for the play. And one more time, C9 have to be here first. They have to be fighting on their terms. Whereas you've got yourself global ultimates. You've got yourself control over their side lane. Seros in some trouble.
Very low, huge hits from, that's gonna be Fear Beyond Death onto Seros. Licorice gets the kill. They are absolutely taking down Steel. He tries to flash to safety, but the Ignite is on and he will go down. Evie swings backward, but he cannot sweep the rug out from under C9. Vivid and Yutapon from the side doing what they can, but now they're stuck in a real bad spot. If Cloud9 can get back onto the kills, a flash and an arcane shift over the wall allows a few members of Detonation Focus Me time. But 5 members of C9 still stand on the rift.
And once again, a hesitation from Seros. Did not want to burn the flash. Couldn't get out of dodge quick enough, and he is punished. Steel goes in, tries to save him, burns everything as well, falls down. And you can see how much this game means. You can see the nerves starting to stack up. No objective to take. You know, that's just a gold lead. Swinging back one more time.
But just itching for a fight, no matter the objectives on the map. Both teams starting to go at it and very hungry. Yutapon, 3-0-1. And would you believe it or not, no Ezreal plays in the regular season. So he is absolutely feeling it, as you say right now, Spawn, on this pick coming into the play-ins against Cloud9.
And once again, they're trusting Jensen's greedy tendency. Hasn't spotted them. Now he will.
Jensen into the brush. He gets hit once, twice, third time's a charm, and he gets the hit from Yutapon as he's now 4-0-1.
Because you can almost guarantee that the rest of C9 right now are posturing around the Infernal Tray, not wanting the second one to be able to go over to Dead FM, but instead, they set up the Gank Rush. They know the blue buff is coming up and available. Cheeky plays out of the Japanese squad.
And it gives them control over the map.
It really does, and it's not allowing Zeyzal the hooks that are going to be catching Detonation Focus Me off guard that we've seen Zeyzal hitting against other teams. They're ready for these engages, for Cloud9 to bite back a little, and it's really causing Detonation Focus Me to have the fight starts they want, but also look great in the fights. A lot of times C9 can have that great fight prowess late game, and Detonation Focus Me is showing up.
Certainly are. Lack of wave clear now starting to hurt a little bit as well. No LeBlanc. She has to put her face in the minion wave to be able to clear that one out. Only really the Draven ultimate with the access to the second Infernal Drag. You know, 1,000 gold deficit. Well, 2 Infernal Drakes makes up that and spades more. And one more time, this is a 4-threat comp. Maximum efficiency coming out of those red Drakes.
What's the ideal? Do you find Sneaky? Do you even go for Jensen? From Detonation Focus Me's viewpoint, what's the ideal fight they're looking for? Or is it to just push C9 around and not fight?
Yeah, I think it is to continue to do what they do, but they've had the best success when they've caught people face-checking areas. So I think it is push out your side lanes, get some semblance of control, you know, maybe come there with Steel. Evi's ultimate so crucial in locking down some of the more elusive members of the Cloud9 lineup. But I think that if C9 get that 5v5 on the same screen, they should be able to win it. But right now, DFM have done a very good job of staying to the game plan and not giving them that.
That was my next question. What is it from C9? And as you said, it's kind of waiting, baiting out Sneaky possibly for the save, but being there together for that 5v5.
Be first to the play. You must be first to the play with the Thresh. You know, everyone sees the montage plays, the flash hooks, but that is not how you want to have to play. You want the face checks, you want the game on your terms.
Yes.
And as we mentioned, you need to push Vision up, so they're staying to the course right now. Shoving up 2 lanes as far as they can. Control that topside jungle. In a minute, you'll have a Baron to play around. We already saw they don't take damage from it. They can bait it for as long as they want. But if they do not get this Baron, this game will be very difficult to win.
Pressure relief duty going to Evi on the bot side of the map as he cleans up some minions, but also gives some pressure over to call back Licorice. He now has exhaust in his spell book to make sure this fight goes in their favor. I'm pretty sure that's going to go on to Evi if he can't get it onto an Unleashed Power Seros at the right time. And a bit of a roller coaster where we can see just how much Detonation Focus Me is pushing back enough to keep it even, although C9 has that lead.
And this is a C9 that was in form. You know, this is a
Yep.
C9 that made it all the way to the NALCS finals. Sure, they stumbled against TL, but there were big questions about whether this is the second best team coming out of North America right now in their current form. And I think in their first couple of days, they showed their strengths, but they also showed a few stumbles. And the LJL team has never done this before, Rip. Have never been able to make it past that play-in stage. This would mean so much for the region. It would mean so much for DFM, their first time at Worlds. And to have their veterans stepping up, another face check coming out.
Big damage onto Zeyzal. He gets forced back. Evi's into the fight, and they're going to huge damage onto Blabber. He's going to be coming up from Guardian Angel. Near side at Zeyzal trying to get the attacks in as well, as you're going to be seeing the team come up. Steel still goes down. The Guardian Angel's not going to do as much for him, and it is just a wash here for Cloud9 as they're finding all the members they need. There's the cash in for Sneaky, and a huge fight puts them in front of Detonation Focus Me's base.
And we said a 5v5 would go in Cloud9's favor. Well, we just saw it. Sneaky on the back line, untouched. A clutch Zhonya's out of Jensen, and they can now push for the win.
Going to be on the inhibitor. It was a rinse and repeat. We just saw the team there as Sneaky himself took down the turret. Detonation Focus Me didn't want that fight, but it eventually came. Cloud9 was able to get it on their terms. Cloud9 is going to look to go undefeated in the group as they take down Evi one last time. Sneaky 5-1-5 to end the game after cashing right in for the Cloud9 team. The silver lining is there. 14-9, 36 minutes in. Cloud9 take first in the group.
And unfortunately for Detonation Focus Me, that means they need to be able to do the Taylor Swift and shake it off, because they have to play now in that best-of-1 game against Kaboom for a spot in the best-of-5. Tiebreaker now on the cards. Cloud9 came up with their end of the bargain. They allowed Kaboom the luxury